to the Daily Decant, your 5-minute briefing on the world of wine. Each episode delivers practical insights to help you choose, order, and talk about wine with more confidence in everyday social settings. Let's get into today's decant. It's Friday and we are doing Fortified Wine Week. Today's topic is the forgotten Fortifieds. And let's start off with a reframe before we get into the specific wines. So this week we've covered port, sherry, Madeira, 3 wines that have rich histories, formal classification systems, and at least some level of consumer awareness, even if that awareness is incomplete. Today we're going to go broader into the category of fortified wines that most people have either never heard of seriously or know only in a completely different context. These are the wines that deserve much more attention than they get. Let's talk Vermouth first, because the misconception here is almost universal. Vermouth is a fortified, aromatized wine that has been fortified with neutral spirits flavored with a blend of herbs, botanicals, spices, other aromatics, and it might be sweet or dry depending on the style. It originated in Piedmont in northwestern Italy in the 18th century, and the name comes from the German word for wormwood, Vermouth, which stands for one of the original flavoring botanicals, and spread quickly through Europe as both a standalone aperitif and a cocktail component. The 2 primary styles are dry, which is pale, aromatic, and herbaceous with a bitter finish, and sweet, which is darker, richer, with notes of vanilla, dried fruit, and baking spice. Italian sweet vermouth, particularly from Piedmont, and French dry vermouth from Chambray, are the classic expressions of each style. Here's the thing that most people miss. A quality vermouth drunk on its own over ice with a twist of citrus is a really complex and satisfying drink that happens to be low in alcohol and really good with food. The botanical complexity, the blend of herbs, spices, and aromatics that each producer guards as a trade secret, creates a flavor profile that no unfortified wine can replicate. Producers like Carpano Antica Formula and Puntimis from Italy or Dolin from France are making vermouth real craft and real depth. Carpano Antica in particular, made to a recipe dating back to the 18th century, has a richness and spice complexity that makes it one of the most interesting fortified wines available at any price. Drunk as a standalone aperitif or used to elevate a cocktail beyond recognition, the problem is that most people only encounter low-quality commercial vermouth used as a cocktail splash, which gives them no indication of what the category can actually be. The gap between cooking quality commercial vermouth and a serious craft vermouth is at least as large as the gap between cooking Marsala and aged Vergine. Buy a bottle of quality sweet or dry vermouth, put it in the refrigerator once opened, and it will keep for several weeks. Drink it over ice before dinner as the Italians have done for over 2 centuries. It's one of the most underrated aperitif experiences available. Marsala, made in western Sicily from local grape varieties, was developed in the 18th century by the English merchant John Woodhouse, who accidentally discovered that local Sicilian wine fortified with grape spirit survived the long journey to England perfectly. The wine has a complicated reputation, largely because the name has been attached to so many poor quality cooking wines that the genuine article has been almost completely overshadowed. The real Marsala, particularly Vergine Marsala, which is aged for a minimum of 5 years in the Solera system and must be completely dry, is a wine of considerable complexity and depth, with walnut, dried fruit, and a distinctive oxidative character similar in some ways to dry Amontillado sherry. It's completely different from the sweetened, low-quality cooking Marsala that fills supermarket shelves, and is worth seeking specifically at wine shops that specialize in Italian wine. Vin Doux Naturel, the French category of naturally sweet fortified wines made primarily from Grenache and Muscat grapes in the southern Rhône and Languedoc regions. The most famous are Banyuls from the Catalan coast, a rich, concentrated, fortified red wine that is one of the very few wines that pairs successfully with chocolate, and Beaumes de Venise, a sweet, aromatic, Muscat-based fortified wine that's delicious with fresh fruit or pastry. And for true wine history enthusiasts, Commandaria from Cyprus, arguably the world's oldest named wine, is a sweet fortified wine made from sun-dried grapes that has been produced continuously on the island for at least 1,800 years. These are not obscure footnotes, but really extraordinary wines that deserve to be on your radar. Richard the Lionheart called Commandaria the wine of wines after encountering it on the Third Crusade. That recommendation is 18 centuries old and still stands. Tomorrow, we'll dive into the practical guide. You won't want to miss it. That's today's Daily Decant. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe and share with your friends so you can continue building your wine knowledge in just a few minutes a day. We'll see you tomorrow for the next Decant.